picture this. It is Monday, January 19th, 2026.
Mm-hmm.
For, 25 years? The world has looked at this one family as, like, the gold standard, the British dynasty, the brand.
Absolutely. We've seen the front rows at fashion weeks, the perfect Instagram posts, that united front that seemed completely unbreakable.
But behind the filters, apparently a storm wasn't just brewing. It was a full-blown hurricane just waiting to make landfall.
And boy, did it ever make landfall. I mean, we're not just talking celebrity gossip here. This is about the potential dismantling of a global empire.
Yeah.
An empire built on the idea of family.
Exactly, because then all of a sudden a 6-page Instagram story drops from the eldest son, and it just shatters 25 years of that image in, seconds?
Instantly.
I want to read you this one quote because it really sets the tone for everything. He writes, "I do not want to reconcile with my family. I'm not being controlled. I'm standing up for myself for the first time in my life."
Wow. That is a devastating line. It completely reframes the narrative we've been fed for years.
And the core conflict here, it wasn't just about a wedding dress, which is what the tabloids ran with.
Yeah.
It was about ownership, identity, and, kind of shockingly, a bribe offered weeks before his wedding to sign away his own birthright.
Welcome to StarScope Report.
Join Jordan and Jamie as they uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
And today, we have a massive stack of articles, some legal reports, social media analysis.
Yeah.
We're really getting into it.
We are.
We're looking at the story of Brooklyn Beckham versus the House of Beckham.
Buckle up, because Feud doesn't even begin to cover it.
Not even close.
Okay, so let's start with the headline that basically woke everyone up this morning. They tried to own my name.
Right.
Brooklyn's claim is that his parents, David and Victoria, actually tried to bribe him into signing away the rights to his own name.
And to really understand why this is such a big deal, you have to pull back and look at the business machine here.
You mean Brand Beckham?
Exactly. Brand Beckham. David and Victoria didn't just raise children, they raised a portfolio. Their names, the kids' names, they've been trademarked for years through a company called DB Ventures.
Right, we're talking merch, perfume, sunglasses, you name it, the brand is always the priority.
And look, in these celebrity dynasties, the Kardashians, the Smiths, keeping that IP in-house is pretty standard. It protects the assets.
But this is where it gets messy. According to Brooklyn's statement, this whole thing happened just weeks before his April 2022 wedding to Nicola Peltz.
The timing is everything. He says his parents repeatedly pressured and attempted to bribe him.
And bribe is such a specific loaded word to use, especially against your own parents.
It implies this really murky, unethical transaction.
And think about the leverage, this contract. It would have affected him, Nicola, and their future children. He says his parents were adamant he signed it before the wedding.
Well, of course they were. I mean, from a legal strategy perspective, once he marries Nicola Peltz, things get complicated. The Peltz family isn't just wealthy. They are billionaire wealthy. Her father, Nelson Peltz, is an activist investor. He knows contracts inside and out. So if Brooklyn goes into that marriage without his name locked down by DB Ventures, the Beckhams potentially lose control of a massive asset.
That's a great point. It's a battle between a son who wants his own life and a corporation trying to control its assets.
Exactly. And because he held out, because he refused to sign, he says there were serious financial consequences.
He wrote, and I'm quoting, "My holdout affected the payday, and that they have never treated me the same since."
Affected the payday. I mean, that phrase tells you everything you need to know, right?
It really does.
It means there was a deal on the table, money in exchange for his name. By refusing, he cut himself off from a huge revenue stream. It's the classic golden handcuffs.
It's so cold. I mean, you're weeks away from your wedding, you're stressed, you're emotional, and your parents are pushing a contract across the table.
It shifts the dynamic from parent-child to, CEO subsidiary. And it backfired. Because unlike a lot of celebrity kids, Brooklyn was marrying into a family with way more resources than his own. He didn't need their payday.
That shift in power is so crucial here. But look, if you think the business contract was cold, just wait until you hear what happened on the dance floor.
Oh, this is the part that has the internet just melting down.
It involves a superstar singer, a humiliated groom, and a mother who just refused to take a backseat.
Okay, let's get into it. The wedding day.
Or, as Brooklyn calls it, the day he was hijacked and humiliated.
So for years, we've all heard the rumors about the dress, right? The story was always that Nicola Peltz was a bridezilla who refused to wear Victoria's design.
Right, it painted Nicola as the villain.
And Victoria as the poor, slighted mother-in-law.
Well, Brooklyn's statement just flips that whole narrative on its head. He claims Victoria canceled making Nicola's dress in the 11th hour.
11th hour? That's sabotage. That's not a creative difference.
He says Nicola was actually excited to wear it, but suddenly the atelier goes dark and the bride is left scrambling for that custom Valentino gown.
It completely changes the story.
Yeah.
But that was just the warm-up act, apparently.
It was. The night before the wedding, he alleges family members told him Nicola was not blood and not family.
Wow. That's drawing a line in the sand. Us versus them. You're either in the corporation or you're a threat to it.
And then, the main event. The first dance. Picture it. 500 guests. Lavish Palm Beach estate. Brooklyn and Nicola have their romantic first dance all planned out to a specific song. It's the moment.
And then, according to Brooklyn, Mark Anthony, a close family friend, calls Brooklyn up to the stage.
But he doesn't call Nicola.
Victoria's waiting there.
Exactly. Brooklyn says Victoria hijacked the dance. And this wasn't just some sweet 30-second mother-son sway.
No.
He writes that she danced very inappropriately on him in front of everyone.
Inappropriately. That is such a strange and loaded word to use to describe your own mother.
It is. And he follows it with, I've never felt more uncomfortable or humiliated in my entire life.
But imagine that. You're the groom. All eyes are on you. You're supposed to be with your new wife, and instead you're in this bizarre performance with your mother.
It really feels like a desperate grasp for attention. Like, I am still the main character in this story.
A wedding should be a passing of the torch, you know? The mother steps back, the wife steps forward. This sounds like a refusal to pass it. A visual assertion of, he is still mine.
It actually explains so much. We have reports that they renewed their vows in August 2025.
Just 3 years later.
Specifically to create new memories because the wedding caused so much anxiety and embarrassment.
And the Beckings were not invited to that renewal.
No.
That's a huge signal. You don't do that unless the first time left a real scar. You're trying to overwrite the memory.
If you're loving these Hollywood twists, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead because the fallout from this just goes nuclear.
We've talked about the bribe, the wedding, but now we have to talk about how a roast chicken basically ended a dynasty.
This is segment 3, the fallout. And honestly, this part shows you just how modern and frankly weird this whole feud is.
Okay, so let's set the timeline. It's late summer 2025. Tensions are boiling over, and Brooklyn decides he needs actual legal protection from his own family.
Right. So sources say he sent a formal legal notice, a cease and desist, to David and Victoria, and he sent it via the law firm Schillings.
And for anyone who doesn't know, Schillings isn't your local lawyer.
No, Schillings is heavy artillery. They handle aggressive reputation management, privacy law. They're the firm you hire when you want to terrify someone.
Sending a Schillings letter to your parents, that is scorched earth.
The terms were strict. No direct contact, communication only through lawyers. And crucially, he demanded they stop tagging him in what he called performative social media posts.
That word performative, it's so telling. He's accusing them of using his image to keep up the happy family facade, even while they were at war behind the scenes.
He just wanted out of the PR machine. He wanted boundaries. But then, the roast chicken.
Okay, please walk me through how poultry became the final straw in this whole saga.
It sounds ridiculous, I know. But in the context of a legal no-contact order, it matters. Brooklyn posts a simple cooking video on Instagram. He's making a roast chicken. Victoria Beckham likes the post.
A single tap on a screen.
To us, it's a like. To Brooklyn, it was a violation. He saw it as them ignoring his legal boundary, ignoring his request for space, a signal that they just didn't respect the cease and desist.
A power move, right? I can still interact with you. And Brooklyn's reaction was immediate.
He went nuclear. He blocked David. He blocked Victoria. He even blocked his siblings, Romeo, Harper, and Cruz.
And we know this for a fact because Cruz confirmed it. In December 2025, he posted on his Instagram story, "My mom and dad would never unfollow their son. They woke up blocked, as did I."
That's the moment the digital door just slammed shut.
Yeah.
It is so wild that a like on a cooking video is the catalyst for a total family blackout.
It's symbolic, though. It's about control. Brooklyn is saying, you don't get access to me anymore. You don't get to perform supportive mom on my page.
So that brings us to today, January 20, 2026. The statement is out. The world is watching. Where is David Beckham while all this is happening?
Switzerland, at the World Economic Forum in Davos.
Of course he is.
It's the perfect cinematic contrast, isn't it?
Well,
Brooklyn is on Instagram, raw and emotional. David is in a bespoke suit in the Swiss Alps, talking global economics.
But the press caught up with him.
They did. Spy News reporter asked him point blank if he had a message for Brooklyn.
And what did he do?
Smiled, ignored the question, walked away. Classic PR 101. But later, in a CNBC interview, he made a comment that everyone is dissecting.
What'd he say?
He spoke vaguely about social media and said his children make mistakes, but children are allowed to make mistakes.
Oh, mistakes. That feels incredibly dismissive.
It is a masterclass in minimization. He's framing these serious allegations, bribery, humiliation, control, as just a childish error, a tantrum.
It's like gaslighting on a global news network.
Right. Don't worry, everyone. The kid is just acting out. Meanwhile, Brooklyn's whole point is that Brand Beckham values endorsements over family. David dismissing it all as a mistake just proves his point.
It really does. It preserves that image of the calm, wise patriarch while completely ignoring the pain his son is expressing.
And, you know, a very telling detail is where Brooklyn is spending his time now. He's not in the Cotswolds or London.
No. He and Nicola are spending their holidays with the Peltz family. They've effectively defected to the other dynasty.
And that's where the wealth disparity really comes into play. The Peltz family can offer him a sanctuary that's more private and secure than the Beckham world.
He's saying, I have to go to my in-laws to feel like a person instead of a product.
Which is a searing indictment of his own upbringing.
So why now? Why go public in such a massive way?
I think it comes down to that line, I'm standing up for myself. For years, the story in the press was that Nicola was the villain.
Right, the evil daughter-in-law trope.
Exactly. The Yoko Ono breaking up the band. Brooklyn is stepping in front of that bullet. He's saying, no, this is me, my choice, my grievances. He's reclaiming the narrative.
But the cost is enormous. I mean, can you come back from accusing your mother of inappropriate dancing and your father of bribery?
It's hard to see a path back from this. This isn't a fight, it's a demolition. He attacked their character, their parenting, their business ethics.
On the very platform they used to build their brand.
The irony is, it's almost poetic. The tool they used to build Brand Beckham is the one being used to dismantle it.
And the other siblings are just caught in the crossfire. Cruz defended his parents, but Romeo and Harper...
It's heartbreaking. When your family's also your business, a resignation looks like this. A 6-page public statement.
So what's next? David is silent. Victoria hasn't posted. Is the Beckham dynasty as we know it over?
I think the United Front era is over. The illusion is broken. They'll survive financially, of course. But the brand, the idea of them as the ultimate family unit, that's dead.
It's a cautionary tale, really. When you turn your name into a trademark, you can't be surprised when your child wants to reclaim their own identity.
He's trying to figure out who he is when he's not just an asset of DB Ventures. And that journey is now very, very public.
Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought. We know the Beckhams are masters of PR. They survived the scandals of the early 2000s and reinvented themselves. But this feels different.
It does. Because this time, the call is coming from inside the house.
Exactly. And here's the thought I want you to mull over. In a world where every family moment is content and every surname is a potential trademark, at what point does a parent stop being a parent and start being a manager?
And if you raise your children as employees of your brand, do you really have the right to be surprised when they quit?
Something to think about. You've been listening to StarScope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.
Catch you next time.